Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to another day of AGILE SCRUM. Uh, Before we begin directly onto the topic, it's time now. How do we start? With a quick reminder of a code of honor. That's our guideline. That's the deal kind of stuff which is between you and me. And we continue with that. So here I'm opening, as you know, that Agile is full of ceremonies and that demands you to show up live, to be on time, remain punctual and highly committed. Suppose you are not practitioner of it, I would suggest you to consider the training itself as a project and start utilizing this way. And I totally appreciate who of you have joined already well before time, and that's the reason I starting in time instead of really waiting longer for others. The universal law also associated gets associated with this, that says that how you do anything is how you do everything. The Because you chose to learn here, you automatically become the student, but we want you to be the full stack student who does all the assignment, do self research and repeat what they learn. This is expected from you to do so, and while you do so, it is quite easy. You will complete what you start, and you hit the success. Please take the responsibility of that. But at the same time, when you don't do, it hits back to the failure. This is a request to take the full responsibility of that element as well, to failure as well. Why? When you accept it, when you recognize it, when you embrace it, there are chances you may go back and correct it. And then you will realize that failure was not a failure, that became trail to the success. So please take the full responsibility of both the elements, be it success or failure. It starts either you finish what you it starts with when you finish what you start, or you abandon just in between what you took to start. Okay. The To do so, it really requires a concrete mindset. The very first one starts with the learning mindset. Yes, inculcate the learning mindset. More learning minded you will become, you will grow positively. More positive minded you will become, you will grow more complaint free in a way that you can perform even in stringent timeline. And given the resources, you may perform even with the lack of resources, and you will find going more loaded in gratitude that leads to the highest level of the productivity. While you are inculcating such mindset, remember to increase your receptivity with the start of your day with the 30 days challenge. Regarding this, I have already spoken in my day once video. I would prefer you to refer to that recording and listen in a way that you are attending them live, and you will have more clarity what exactly this and how exactly this 30 days challenge is going to help you to impact your every positive outcome in a very positive manner, be it whatever the action you perform during the day. But that 30 days challenge should not be broken once taken. That's the reason, even if you miss one day, it is recommended that you start from the scratch. Again, this is a recommendation, not the mandate. So in case you want to participate in this challenge, you need to just DM me and I'll share the link with you. Second, because we are heading towards the technical learning, remember to follow in any technical learning, this golden quadrant of learning. And if you follow this the way it is asked to do, trust me, you can become an expert in any topic. There is a method to do so. Follow this golden quadrant of learning thrice with the 5 minutes of gap on the topic, whatever you are learning, and that topic has to be learned not more than 20 minutes. That's the only rule. And then follow all those 4 steps. What are those 4 steps? The very first step, you before you learning, you anchor and then declare. Okay, so you declare with the anchor, and then take a deep dive into deep learning. And then after learning of 20 minutes, you just leave it and then draw after 24 hours whatever you have learned on a piece of paper, and then summarize it back in a way that even 5 years old can understand. And when you are summarizing, remember you are not going to expand it in more than 3 minutes, and minimum 90 seconds. Okay. And when you continue to do that, these all four steps, you will be amazed to see how you have evolved from novice to an expert. This is a journey. This is a journey, and that's why you are expected and you are asked to put your every part, every summary as a part of unsaid assignment. So let's get started with the step number 1 and 2, that is anchor with the declaration. Well, what is anchor, impact of anchor, why we need to put the anchor, and why declaration? These all scientific reason has been even given in the day one's recording. So we will do this over here, the very first step. So what I'll do, I'll just put the anchor. Anchor is nothing but it's a self hi-fi. Just now you heard on speaker. So how we will do that? I will just count 1, 2, 3 and clap. You are going to model this clap, and then I'll read the selected statement on the screen. Can you all see the selected statement on the screen, everyone? Unmute yourself and say yes. Yeah, thank you. So let's do it after me. So 1, 2, 3 and clap and repeat. I'm a quick learner.
I'm a quick learner.
What others can learn and master,
What others can learn and master,
I too can do that.
I too can do that.
One more time with the another statement just below it. So let's do it together. 1, 2, 3 and clap and repeat. Because I'm an awesome learner.
Because I'm an awesome learner.
Today's learning is going to be
Today's learning is going to be
super duper easy to me.
super duper easy to me.
Yes, it is going to be because you said so. That's number one. And in case few of you found still a bit awkward, remember the sixth code of honor that says that you need to be a giver. It means that keeping ego away on the path of learning, that makes you more spiritually grounded on the path of growth. Spiritually grounded means your happiness level increases, and happiness is today's new productivity, and that's the demand of the corporate. And while you do so, remember that you are not here just for the learning, but also to grow economically. And it is said that what you want more of, you must start giving away the portion of. And if you really want more of, you want to make more of income as well, remember to, start giving away as a part of your giveaway. That is, if you are already earning 5% of 10%, you can definitely give away into the causes wherever you are believing in. And in case you are not earning today, can you at least have an intent to give away? That is, once you get place minimum. Why? Because it is said that when you give, you grow, and when you receive, you may survive. And you have to just target for 5 to 10% giveaway on every income, be it weekly or monthly. And where you can give back, you can give back to the causes like feeding hungry children, or donating to the old age home or orphanage, or even donating into mosques, temple, churches, or gurudwara, wherever you believe in. And while you do so, remember to appreciate what you do, what others do for you. And even what does not happen to you, continue to do so, because it is said that what you appreciate appreciates you back. So these are the 6 guidelines we are going to abide by. And at the same time, every Sunday we are going to meet for the technical session at 10 p.m. EST. Monday we are going to meet for the another technical session at 10 p.m. EST. Tuesday you must attend the RRP session, that is reference ready resume preparation, that enhances your visibility, credibility, and marketability, because this is the gateway for your placement. Wednesday, you will be doing the assignment from the learning of the Sunday. Thursday, you are again going to repeat the RRP session. The whole idea behind the repetition is that enhances your visibility, credibility, and thereby the marketability. Friday, you will be doing the assignment from the learning of the Monday. And Saturday, either you can choose to relax or have a breather day or do the research work, or you choose, or repeat if you want to go through the recording, or prepare the question that you want the answer on the next technical session, that is on the next Sunday. So this is how we are going to abide by. So do we agree to follow this? Say yes if you are with this. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So
Yes.
let's move to the topic where we had left you last time. So do you remember last time many of you created the activity diagram, and in fact that on activity diagram we left, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So from there, we will continue to begin. And I saw all of your assignments. So great work. And wherever was required, I gave the um, feedback as well. Yes, I went through your videos as well. Yes, those were really to the point. I would recommend if you can more bit summarize it, although you are doing it already, but can you just target it to be more crisp and come down towards 3 minutes, not expanding that. So that is the art, and you yourself can do that. Okay, so recently, before I begin, many of you would be wondering that I'm wearing doctor just before my name. Just to let you know that recently I got this doctorate in mentorship and coaching from one of the university, because I had conducted one of the program for them in year 2021, and recently I got awarded by them. So this is a good,
Wow,
just a quick.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. So from here we will begin to the topic. That is activity diagram. We just looked at it. Thank you guys, and let's move further to us the next one. So next one is mind map. So have you ever seen mind map earlier? Anyone?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind.
Mhm.
Thank you, Jolly.
Is
So
it
kind
kind
of.
of vision board?
No, not exactly.
It's a
Yeah, but
pictorial
vision
representation
board, yeah, vision board can be created in mind map. That's one. And you said that pictorial representation of.
of the things to tag, to memorize something.
Yeah, definitely. So we can say we can tell that what exactly mind map is, but I want to ask, is expanded look is something like that. This is where in the center there will be main idea, and there are the multiple ways to create mind map. My simple question is that have you seen any mind map generally?
No.
No, I don't
No.
agree with you.
Yes.
Uh, Maipal says yes. How come you have seen that?
Well, in somewhere in the representation, I cannot exactly remember where, but I have seen like ample amount of time, like at least 3 4 times,
Mhm.
where different there is a main idea, and there are various
Okay,
theory or
got it.
understanding.
Got it, Maipal. But I am expecting some different answer, and I
Oh,
am amazed to know that you are saying no, or you have seen somewhere else and you don't remember. I won't agree with you. Yes, someone else who can tell me that if you have seen the mind map.
Code of honor.
Exactly, Pooja. So here you go with the round of applause. So we start our day, our session with code of honor itself. Okay. And that is nothing but the mind map. Is it clear to everyone? What is that representation is? We start every single time with mind map. All right. Got it, everyone? Where do you see mind map generally?
Yeah,
Yes.
code of
Yeah.
honor.
Yes, so that is the mind map. So as you know, what is mind map? Mind map is required to do a lot of work. Like even if you want to participate into multiple team, do the brainstorming, and expand the idea, go more creative. This is the one of the pictorial representation where the idea, central idea is in between, and from there will get to see the multiple branches expands, and from those nodes multiple sub nodes or sub branches expands, and you can continue to do so. Say for example, this was the actual representation. You see the in the center there is one point, and it has multiple nodes, and it has sub nodes, and it has again it continue to gets expanded. So just to let you know that how it can be crafted further, I'm resharing my screen and will let you know what can be the its or what can be its different ways. So say for example, I can go ahead and choose the different format over here. Okay, the same code of honor, and in this I can choose the different way. Like this is one of the way. Do you see that how it change its entire shape? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait a second. Yeah. This is one of the method. This is one of the, there are different ways to create this mind map. Okay. So different shape it is creating. So exactly initially the mind maps used to look like that. Okay. Now then later what they did, so it was first created by Tony Buzan. So he was the pioneer of this mind map. So yeah. So this is how it generally looks like. All right, everyone. You got it? How I'm
Yeah.
talking about central idea is always in between, and then we'll continue. Okay. So after mind map, there is something to which we call it as a product roadmap. So I want a few different people, like 3 different people, to read the first 3 bullet points for me, please. Go ahead.
We can't see the slide, Gaurav.
You can't see the slide. Can you see now?
Yeah, we can see now.
Yeah.
A product roadmap is a high-level plan that describes how the product is likely to grow.
Next one, next person.
Outlines the vision, priorities, and progress of the product over time.
Third line, third person.
Provides a
Go ahead,
purpose
sir.
and communicates how you see the product develop over the coming months, facilitates stakeholder collaboration, and helps the individuals understand how they can contribute to make the product a success.
Yeah. And I want someone, 2 more people to read another bullet
A
point, please.
product roadmap gives a broad overview of all aspects of an upcoming product, goals, timeline, features, resources, etc.
Yeah. And the final
Product-
one.
Product roadmap helps to get answers for below question. What are we doing next? What's the actual plan? Why are we doing this now?
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So why product roadmap is required? The first idea is that when you have the large goal to achieve, the bigger vision to achieve, you remember that you will break it down into multiple deliverables, to which we call it as either multiple features, so there or multiple milestones, and that will be on one timeline. It will have the start point, it will have the end point. Okay. And the entire purpose is that what a participant or stakeholders can expect uh, as a upcoming deliverable or in upcoming month. So it is a long plan. Say for example, it can be 1 year plan. Say for example, one one company is approaching you for something to do. So now, giving back to one example, you have given your vehicle uh, in front of shopping center, and you happen to do lot many activities for the entire day, and you dropped your vehicle into the car wash and say that I don't just want the car wash, I want the entire servicing done. They say that, okay, so you can expect the delivery towards the 5 p.m. in the evening. This is 8 a.m. in the morning. So we will give you the periodic update, like at 10 a.m. you expect our call and video call, then at 2 p.m., then 3 p.m., and then 4:30 p.m. and 5 p.m. you turn back and take it. So these are the 5 milestones they decided, and they told them that this is how we will be giving you the updates back. Now coming back to the another point, when it comes to software delivery, you can define the what inclusion you are bringing, or are you customizing any existing software, or you are developing anything from the scratch. Depending upon that, you define that who will be work how longer, and once the first timeline is over, then next timeline what we will work upon. Say for example, this is a year-long plan. Either you can break it down into the monthly plan, weekly plan, half yearly plan, or quarterly plan. With me so far, everyone? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, no? So let's see one example over here.
Yes.
in product map roadmap. Thank you. So here you see there is a roadmap defined in one chart, and it has been defined into multiple quarters. So you see the plan is of 4 quarter, and this has been designed into one application to which we call it as a lucidchart.com. What we call it as?
Lucid chart.
Lucid chart.
Lucid chart. So that if you want, you too can use that. Okay. And in this 4 quarter long period, there are multiple teams involved. Team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But these teams will get activated for different works at a different time. Say, for example, team 1 will start doing the activity of Salesforce integration. This is the example given. So one software requires the tool Salesforce to be included into their existing application. So there, this integration work will go for 6 months. So they decide that team 1 will be working from quarter 1 to quarter 2, and at the same time, what will be happening with the other teams? So other teams, team 3 and team 4 will be working on to other different activity. They will be working on quick live app. Team 3 will be working on Google Hangouts, chat integration. Team 4 will work in the draw.io import, and team 2 will be working only in quarter 2 for organization chart automation, and team 4 can in quarter 2 continue to start working toward the key management system. Okay, so quarter 1 to 2, the entire work is assigned from team 1 to team 5. Team 5 will be offline, and they will be working on mobile, but that will be in offline mode. They will not be considered as active. The moment we transit into the quarter 3 and quarter 4, so there uh, team 1 will continue to think towards the sales industry solution. Team 2 will be thinking towards the data linking automation. Team 3 will be active towards advanced admin controls, and in team 4 will be continue to work towards key management system, and team 5 will begin with the tablet annotation and drawing work. And in quarter 4, the team 1 will continue with their existing task, team 2 will continue with their existing task. Now team 3 will equip to enterprise, and team 4 will continue to start with Lucid Chart Developer APIs, and team 5 will continue with their existing tasks. So here you see the entire plan has been laid out for one smaller application. Okay, so this is how roadmap is generally created. Okay, so like roadmap sometime is one term to which we call it as a Gantt chart. What we call it as?
Gantt chart.
Yeah. So Gantt chart is used by more or less in project management. Okay. So you can utilize this whenever you want to show the complete multiple milestones and the progress of the project. So that generally project manager uses that. But yeah, this is just for your information. So that comes with the product roadmap. Then next, you can see in what we are learning over here. When we started with the activity diagram last time, we started with BA models. What we started with, everyone?
BA
B-
models.
Yeah. So these models, what you are learning, these are the part of the business analysis models itself. So in that only, for business analyst, there is another useful term to which we call is as the SWOT analysis. What we call it as?
SWOT analysis.
Yeah. So anything in this world that can be analyzed on these four terms. SWOT analysis is where you will be talking about the strength of that particular item or particular decision or particular inclusion into the software or activities. So whatever I said as a topic, you analyze its strength, then you write its weakness at one hand, then you write its opportunities and the threats. So in a nutshell, it says that strength is what do you do well, say for example, where do you need to improve, that is weakness. If you are doing the self analysis, what are your goals, opportunities, and what obstacles do you face as a threat. Okay, so this can be further expanded to enhance any processes, any activities, or to achieve any milestone, or to include any include any decision, or do it any decision, and to improve the performance. Okay, so these are the SWOT analysis. Any question in the SWOT analysis? We don't need to read everything in detail, these points. Okay, there's just a quick summary.
It's all good.
Okay, good. So here you can see in a simple graph, it has been told you that here is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. You continue to write, and you will be amazed to see that, yeah, strength, weaknesses, when you identify, you also identify opportunities and threats, and you can take the better decision. This is how the organizations can do about it. Okay, then comes to the fishbone diagram. So when we are talking about fishbone diagrams, so that this helps in root cause analysis. Okay, it helps in what, everyone?
Root cause analysis.
Root cause
Exactly.
analysis.
Exactly. So there are multiple models for the root cause analysis. Fishbone diagram is one of them, where you know the problem, and you work backward towards identify the solution. Or let's see one, as the name suggests, this is the fishbone diagram. So you know the problem, and when you draw it backwards, you identify its cause somewhere. Okay, so last time, I don't remember whether it was you or not, we had been talking about multiple environment. Have we spoken about multiple environment? The
No.
live environment is called as, for example, Amazon.com is the live environment. It is also called as production environment. Before that, it will be pre-production. Likewise, have we spoken about it? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay,
Yes,
not
we
a
talked
problem.
about that in when we talked about the agile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
during that time only. So why I was asking you to do that, but before I continue, let me quickly have a scan to see anyone for the first time. I don't see any first timer face over here. So I believe that you would remember it now. So there are multiple environment, like a developer starts working in their local machine to develop any software, that will be called as local environment. When multiple software developers developed small modules and made it accessible for all the developers at one place, that is called as development environments. When all the modules get integrated together and put back into the to the testers for their testing, it will be called as testing environment. When testers are continue to test the modules one by one, and once it get integrated as a whole system, it will be called as a system integration testing environment. When system integration testing is given for customer as well as to in-house tester, and they agree and they find it good in quality, and they certify it for its further progression or graduation, then it gets delivered to user, where business users work directly on that for the acceptance of the software, that is called as user acceptance testing environment. And when user accepted that, then it goes to the live environment. But just before the live environment, when it is rolled out for the end user, what generally developers do, or the developing company does, who has developed this software, they will create its replica, that so that in case any problem occurs in the live environment, they can try to replicate that in the replica environment, which is also called as pre-production environment or pre-prod environment, before it goes into this UAT. And Yeah, so pre-prod is there, which is also called as mirror environment. So this is something additional. Why I'm telling you in details? Because we are going to understand fishbone diagram. So in fishbone diagram, there is a diagram just like a fish. Can you see the shape of this diagram itself look like a fish? Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a straight line, a problem is defined and the cause is try to figure it out. Now, cause could be anything, but we are just trying to figure it out. Say, for example, one thing failed in the production environment. Okay. So what could be the reason? The failure can be because the environment was not stable. No, it was passed by everyone. So environment was okay. So we will be figuring out one by one. Was the problem into process that some defect was there, identify, but it could not be communicated well. The communication did not come towards the surface. It get lost somewhere in the chaos, or was the failure of the equipment? Did that particular error occurred in particular system with particular user? Was it the equipment failure? Was it the people failure? Someone was involved when he was hired, and then this person did some activity and then he left the work and he did not turn up, or he absconded the company, but he did certain activity or he did not do certain activity which was supposed to do, and that impacted in longer term into the live environment. Was that problem, or it was related to material problem? Material problem means a particular in particular scenario, particular button is conditional appearance. It was a conditional appearance. When we say conditional appearance, it means that some buttons are dependent upon some uh, clicks in the software, and based on that they generally appear. Have you seen such software where initially there is no button and you did one activity, then another button appears? Have you seen that? Yes, no?
Can you say again, Gaurav?
I am saying that in any software generally happens, you don't see few buttons, but you did certain activity and then that button appears. Have you seen
And
that?
ATM.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes,
ATM.
yeah.
Sometime. Even if you go to ATM, you see that there is no confirm button. The moment you enter the amount, there is no confirm button until you type it. So the moment you type the amount, sometime it asks you to confirm. That's number one example. Number two, when you are going to change the pin of your ATM card, first time you enter your pin, after entering only it gives you another option to type again your pin that you are planning to change as a confirm once again, something like that. Have you seen that ever?
Yes.
Yes. All of you, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So these you can consider as a part of, material as well. Okay. And then comes to management. Something has been missed by management or some flaw is there into the environment. So what exactly happened? Whatever the problem occurs, you continue to check everything towards the backward where the flaw is getting replicated. And when you choose to travel back and you find one point time that you have reached to the solution. So you have reached to the cause of it. And it is said that when problem well defined is problem half done. Okay. So once you find that what is the root cause of the problem, the solution is quite easy. Say, for example, you would have found the problem in the equipment itself, that a particular type of machine in that particular button does not look well, okay, or it does not appear at all because of it could be the problem with the resolution. Say, for example, when I was giving you the example of mind map, I was turning its format. Okay. I was presenting all different format. In between, if someone would have noticed, the COH button was disappeared. Have you had you noticed that? Anyone?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So the problem was behind that COH was not readable because of some resolution. Okay. Or because of the font type or because of the background inside that particular central node. The reason could be anything, but this was minor, so it was not discussed in detail. Likewise, the resolution could be the reason for multiple things, and you identify that is maybe the problem with the particular hardware. Okay, it could be the hardware issue. So likewise, you continue to identify the solution. So this is one of the fishbone, one of the example of the fishbone diagram. Okay, with me so far, everyone? Any question in this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So generally, fishbone diagram is only for the root cause analysis. Otherwise, we go ahead, we have 5 why methods. Are you aware of 5 why methods? Yes, no?
Mm.
Okay. 5 why methods, the moment you identify any problem, you ask why and you get the answer. Then ask why again on that answer. And again ask why on that answer. And you repeat it for the 5 times. And whatever the last answer is, generally should be the cause. Okay. Generally should be the solution as well. And actually root cause. And sometimes it doesn't happen with only 5 whys. Sometimes people dig deeper and go towards the 7 why. Sometimes it goes up to 11 or 13 whys as well. So these are the methods to identify the root cause. Okay. So that fishbone diagram is the contribution into that. Then comes to PFD, that is the process flow diagram. So as I say, the entire, maximum diagrams or flow diagrams are dependent upon the flow chart. Last time when we started, we said that the entire dependency means it look like is just like a flow chart. And in process flow diagram, we have the decision box. The rectangular defines the processes, represent the process. These are the bit rectangular boxes. So these diagonal rectangular boxes, these are also parallelogram, and these are the input output boxes. Start and end for the flow diagram is this oval type shape. So it is to start and end. So this is how we do that. Yeah, you get it, everyone?
Yes.
So we'll see in one of the
So what's
example.
the difference between process flow diagram and activity diagram?
The difference is that when we talk about the start and end, you see the symbol is different. Okay, let's start your activity diagram represents the activities that you are doing in certain use case. When we are talking about the flow, it will tell you the flow department wise. Okay,
Okay.
it may flow talk about the various flow, how things are flowing from one place to another place, one direction to another direction. But when we are talking about activities diagram, where more or less multiple activities are mentioned, those are action oriented diagram, and these are the process oriented diagram. Got it? And
Okay.
when you will look at their shape as well, the way they are drawn, so those are different. So activity diagram starts with the dots and ends with the dots into the circle. Okay, rest of all are there as equal. Activity diagram does not have the parallelogram, but process flow diagram does have. Okay, it starts with oval. Okay, rest all are almost similar. Got it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let's understand one example of the process flow diagram. So what do you see here? So I will make it more readable and will represent into the, mm, okay, in the full screen. Yeah. So this is the process flow diagram where multiple departments are involved. Customer, sales, management, and credit departments are there. The whole idea is that it all starts with the sales call. Sales call goes to the customer, and the customer could be the existing customer or the new customer. So the moment what happens, sales call goes and customer takes a decision to buy a product, then credit form is generated and sales call creates a order entry. Okay, and once order is confirmed and order entry is generated, order form is created, and that order form goes to the management for the approval. And because if it is the legacy customer, existing customer, his check uh, can be decided whether it is it can his credit is good or not, whether it has and there will be certain criteria, credit criteria involved at the management level. Then it comes to the credit department to check the credit criteria. If he or she has the existing credit, um, he will continue into this and go further for checking if he has got any amount or account to be received. Okay, and if the balance is high, again it goes back to the credit check, and in case balance can be accepted or it is into the threshold, uh, further it is calculated if his credit balance is okay, that uh, any further items can be handed over to him for into the sales or not. Does it meet the criteria of credit terms or not? And if he does, his credit or his sales get approved and credit report is generated. And if nothing works in this way, then he is tagged with the bad credit and sales does not get approved. And this can happen into B2B business. B2B to means business to business, means that say for example in automobile industry. Okay, in automobile industry, one company has to buy some spare parts, okay, from some manufacturing company. These company can decide and they can put some decision based on process flow diagram, that so using this diagram they might have created some utility or say purchase software, and depending upon his entry, the final decision gets issued whether this person or this automobile company should be issued with the spare parts further or not. So this is what could be the one of the example of the process flow diagram. With me so far, everyone? Yes, no? Okay. Any question over here? No? Then we can move to the next one. If no question, we will continue with the next one. So let me, so in next what we are going to look at, we are going to further look at few more diagrams. So we started with the business flow diagram and we will continue with the business flow diagram, learning about it. So we have looked only few. There will be multiples like now we have understood about the models, business models, and we were talking about when we talk about business models, we need to know about few templates, few documents, and here it comes for which we had been, working hard towards that. So let me, before I reshare my screen, okay, let me check. Wait a second. So I'm just taking time before I am resharing my screen with you guys. Allow me some time. I'm just looking at the document which I'm publishing in front of you. Yeah. So a few more diagram we are going to visit now, to which we call it as a visual modeling as well. So before we begin, let me share something which we did not share last time. And that is over here. Okay. So why we are so much diagram? The whole idea behind so much diagram is that the need of these diagram came because we don't want to write more processes. We want to define it through the design. So no more writing of the processes, but define them, define them. And how do we define? We depict through design. Okay. So in that, the visual modeling, this comes. Okay. When we are talking about visual diagram, so this is the process flow diagram, business domain model, or ER diagram, or EI wireframe diagram. ER diagram is entity relationship diagram. We will be looking at it. And then we have UI wireframe that you would be required to embed into some of the template or some of the document, and those document could be use case document, those document could be the requirement document or business requirement document or something like that. So before we go further into that and understand, let's understand one diagram with which is called as workflow diagram. Which diagram, everyone?
Workflow
diagram.
Yeah, so in this workflow diagram, we are trying to complete one more thing to which we call it as a life cycle, that is the defect life cycle. What life cycle, everyone?
defect.
Defect life cycle.
Yeah. So what happens at any level when in software quality check happens, then what exactly happens is that um, we follow certain thing. The moment in any application, error or discrepancy is identified, then it is reported as new. Reported as what?
New.
New. And new is the status of that reported error. Okay. And then this error goes to the development manager, and he checks on three criteria: whether it is a valid defect or error, whether it is in the scope, or whether it is already raised. If it is already raised, change its status through the duplicate. If it is not in the scope, remove out of the game and mark it as deferred. And if it is not valid at all, mark it as a rejected. So these become the status of the new defect. But in case the answer to any of these are no, then what exactly happens? It goes to the next step. Okay. So answer of any is no, and here you see yes, because the it is asked in that manner. Is it a valid? Yes. Is it a scope? Yes. Is it already raised? The answer over here should be no, and the no, it comes, it goes to Dave manager further, and he assigns it to the individual developer, and then assignee name you will be able to see in your, and these can happen in any defect tracking tool or in any project management tool. And you see the developer start working on it, and its status change into in progress. Okay. From new to in progress. Okay. All right, everyone.
Yes.
Okay. So then once it is marked as in progress, then it goes to developer and they mark it as a fixed. Okay. And once it is marked as a fixed, it is moved to the testers, and tester checks whether it is reoccurring or not reoccurring. If it is not occurring anymore, they may mark it as a close, and if it is reoccurring, they will assign back to the developer for the uh, fix one more time for the quality fix. Okay, so this is the workflow diagram with the example of the defect life cycle, or say bug life cycle. With me so far, everyone?
Yes.
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 Yeah. All right.
What is deferred here?
Deferred means we are not doing right now. We will think about it later in the future. So it is kind of a not accepted as of now. We can accept it later. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question, guys? If not, let's move to this ER diagram. So ER diagram is an entity relationship diagram where there will be the multiple tables in a database. How they are linked with the another table into the database is seen. Say for example, one customer walks down and to your apparel store, and you are the manager over there, or you are the owner of that apparel store, and he walks down to you and you ask him certain question that what exactly you want, and then he goes towards explaining and expanding the specification, and based on that you continue to check into your application at the reception whether requirement is available or not. So you ask what exactly he wants, then he says that I want this product, say for example t-shirt. Then you want the categories. Do you want full sleeves, half sleeves, in hoodies, not in hoodies, or something like that? He gives you the answer. Based on the particular answer, you ask for the size and the color. He gives the answer to size and colors, and you go ahead further and you identify its location. You ask one attendant to take your customer to the particular direction into the particular shelf, and ask him to ask him to get that particular cloth, that particular garment, because customer satisfied with everything. And then once the customer comes back satisfied with the cloth he wanted to buy at the counter, then you generate an order form by taking his name, address, and contact that you feed into the software. Then order form with the date and amount gets generated. So this is what exactly happens. But when you were looking for the location of the garment, what exactly customer wanted, so here you were querying multiple things by asking the product he wanted, the category he wanted, the color he wanted, the size he wanted. Okay, so when you were doing that, so multiple tables are linked with the multiple table, and that association uh has been indicated over here in this diagram, which is called as ER diagram. With me, everyone? Understood? Yeah.
Yeah.
So after this is also called as business domain model diagram. So yeah, Sobal, you have question? Go ahead.
So in the ER diagram, sir, all the tables are codependent on each other?
Not necessary. Both are dependent with each other. So there are here you see that apparel size is dependent upon the product, and product category is dependent upon the product. Okay. So, but product is not dependent upon the size and category. So there is a one-way dependency on the size and the category from the product set. So when we are talking about dependency, there are two types of dependency: one directional dependency and multi-directional dependency. But when we are talking about multi-directional dependency, now color is dependent upon the product and product is also dependent upon the color. Okay. So likewise, but when we are talking about only the color, so color is dependent upon the product color. Okay. Likewise, we have product categories. Now here inside, category is dependent upon the product category. So more often these ER diagram you will get to see are designed by the developers and not generally by business analysts. Okay, so this is how the dependency flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, sir, the connectors that are connecting the tables, do they mean anything?
Yeah, so as I say that dependency flow. So like these three lines that defines that in what direction what is flown. So when we are talking about these, so these three lines, both, yeah, three lines at the both the side, it means that uh, these are interdependent. Okay, like here you see once only two single lines are there. It means that product categories, and so here it is that these are dependent. This category is dependent upon the product category, but not every element inside this table will be dependent upon the product category. So that is only the difference. Got it, everyone? Yes.
Yes.
So all right. So we can move further towards, this is very crucial as a business analyst for you. So this is what exactly you will be embedding into the requirement document or something like that, to which we call it as a UI wireframe. What we call it as?
UI
Why?
Yeah. So when we talk about UI wireframe, so what exactly happens? Say for example, in one of the application, you are asking your customer to design a button or one UI element. Okay, so you can do three things. Either you just indicate here we will have the button and leave the space. Okay, and you talk about that button, back button or next button. Okay, second, what you can do is that you type the UI element and you try to design it somewhat look alike. Okay, it will not be exactly how it is in the software, but it might resemble with that. Okay, and then you go ahead and talk about it. So in first place, you are just designing the placeholder. That is one type of the mock-up design. It is also called as, what it is called as, the second name?
Mock-up design.
Mock-up design. So either it will be called as UI wireframe or the mock-up design. The first phase where you will have just a placeholder and you will see that this button will come, or this UI will come, or this drop down will come, or this text box will be here, or this UI element will be here. You are just designing placeholder and then talking about it. In the second step, second phase, or second type, either or, may happen that you are trying to design the UI element that maybe look alike but not exactly like that, and you go ahead and further talk about that element. Okay, that is the second. In third, if the application is transitioning from one existing system to another existing system, and you know in the existing system how certain UI element was looking like, what you can do is that you can snip it through. So how you can snip it through? So generally you have the snipping tool. Okay, say for example, and if you want to talk about mm, uh, editing menu, and you can say like this, you will just copy, I'm snipping this. Okay, so this is my editing tool. In the diagram in my requirement document, I may say that this place in the software will have the editing tool, and it will have the find button, replace button, and select button. That will go under editing, and then I will go ahead and describing about it. So what I did from the existing system, I just copied it, and in the new requirement document, I placed it. Okay, in another way, what I would have done, I would have simply tried to design it in a placeholder. Okay, and talk about it, right? Something like that. With me so far?
Yes.
Yeah. So when we are designing placeholder only, we call it as a low fidelity UI prototype. What we will call it as?
Low fidelity UI.
Fidelity UI.
And when we will try to create its resemblance or somewhat visibility with, we will call it as a medium fidelity UI prototype. What we will call it as?
Medium fidelity UI.
Yeah. And when if we are creating exactly as is visible, and it is almost like very solid, then we call it as a high fidelity UI prototype. What we will call it as?
High fidelity UI prototype.
UI prototype.
Yes. So these are the UI wire framework. With this note, we will move to another. Let me quickly check with the Prerna is there. Prerna, can you take the another slide, please? The WBS chart. Please let me know if you are there.
Yes, Gaurav. Yeah, I was waiting for you to take a pause. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Sure.
You're welcome.
Yes. So here we are trying to learn different type of diagrams, which are quite important, quite relevant, and quite practical in a day-to-day life in any professional organization. Let us learn about WBS. WBS stands for Work Breakdown Structure. Okay. So when we say work breakdown structure, by all means, it actually gives us an understanding that you are kind of breaking down the overall work into different types or maybe departments, right? Work breakdown structure. Yeah. Anybody else? What would you feel when you hear the word work breakdown structure? Any thoughts on this? Just a normal open-ended question. Yeah.
A bigger work is broken down into smaller tasks.
Yeah, absolutely right. Very well said. What about others? More answer,
Isn't,
please.
isn't it similar to product roadmap? Because in bigger picture, it's a total project. They are breaking down in different quarters, how it will go on in 1 year's
I'm
time or so.
actually thinking on these lines, but product roadmap actually means like a Google map. It will tell you the future of the product, whereas WBS is more concerned with the current phase, wherein how you will conduct and carry on the work. You get my point?
Okay.
Like for example, give me a second. Yeah. Like, for example, imagine you are doing your college studies, and you have per se a set of 6 friends. So out of which one friend is good in accounting, one is good in maths, one is good in economics, and vice versa, things like that. So you give the responsibility of teaching each subject to each person, right? So our aim is to complete all the topics or subjects, but then those have been divided amongst different people. So what we have done, we have broken down the work, though ultimately it's a fact that everybody will study. But you see the point, like, okay, you might take up economics, somebody might take up so when it comes to economics, all the queries, all the questions would come to you. Okay, for maths, it will go to some other person. So same way, what happens is, the first answer was absolutely apt, that all the tasks, all the requirements, all the activities, those are broken down. Okay, so now when we say activities broken down, it doesn't only mean that they will be in one department or in one team only. Okay, here if you can see, there are so many boxes with different I would say teams or department heading mentioned. So let us understand that in detail. I'll request one person to read the text about WBS chart, and then we will get into the chart. Okay, please go ahead.
A good work breakdown structure includes only deliverables and activities. The best approach in WBS is placing deliverables as summary activities and breaking down these summary activities into detailed activities based on the work required to meet such deliverables.
Yes. So what it says is that WBS includes all the deliverables and activities that we just discussed, that it is a breakdown structure of all the activities and requirements. The best approach in WBS is placing the deliverables as summary activity and breaking down again the same thing into these in detailed activities based on the work required to meet such delivery. So to be very honest, it has little jargon type feeling, but the bottom line of this entire statement is the work or the activity or the requirement that you have in hand, that is broken down into different I would say types or departments or team for the simplicity of execution. Okay, you always understand this. So again, like, let me give you a very funny example. Imagine your childhood days, when we were young, and if a guest was to come, okay. So maybe it was a sudden plan, okay. It was not a planned visit. And then as a kid, what kind of task you used to get? Tell me.
Clean the room, organize the home.
Absolutely right. Because that is the supposedly, I mean, less qualified work that you could have done as a kid. So you clean the room. But whereas your parents, especially your mother, would take up the role of cooking and, managing the entire, whatever, organization part of it, like what to cook, where to put. Your father would get into marketing, like, go and buy stuff and, even arrange stuff. Maybe your elder sibling would help a mother in cutting and all that thing. So here what we are doing, our work is guest visiting, but we have broken down into different parts or different activities. And by the way, cleaning room and cooking apparently has no direct connection. Okay, so those are two different things. Why am I giving you this example? That even in organization, there are different segments or different departments. Now we'll learn that. So here, if you can see, let me only change my screen type. Okay, yeah. So is the if in case you're not able to read this, please enlarge your screen, then you'll be able to read. So let us take the example of retail web store. Okay, this is an example of retail web store. Retail web store means a typical shopping store that we are converting into an online store. Okay, makes sense? So it's like a smaller version of Amazon. Everybody gets it? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is what we are trying to make. Now, in that, can 5 different people read out the below segments, please?
Project management,
Perfect. Next.
Requirements gathering,
Mm-hmm.
Design and analysis.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Like software development.
Okay.
Testing and production.
Perfect. Perfect. So now when we have this project in hand, we will have these many different departments, starting with project management. Like, first of all, when we have to create this website, we would need someone to manage its overall execution, right? So we would need a project manager, and we would need to do project management. So that is one WBS department or WBS given. Second is sorry, requirements gathering, right? Now we always say BAs do requirement gathering. So that is also one important task. So that is given one WBS. Third is design and analysis. So it's not only you're gathering information and somebody is managing the project, but you also need to design and develop and actually work on this application, right? So that WBS. And by the way, look at the WBS number, okay? First, project management is 1.0, second is 2.0, then is 3.0, and then site software development means actually developing the website, that is 4.0, and testing is given 5.0. So you know what it actually does in organization? When we work at home or when we study, that time it's only division of work. But when we do this in organization, this is basically work for billing purpose. Okay, now you might ask, what is billing purpose? So that means when the entire project is complete, we actually get the understanding which team or which group contributed the most. Like, for example, the project management team can put in, say, just hypothetically 100 hours. Okay, 100 hours. Like, each day is like 8 hours. So project managers work, it was around, say, 12 to 13 days. So like 8 hours into 10, 80 hours, and then on top of it. So it's like whatever. So it's like 8 hours a day. So that way, you calculate. So for a single project manager, it's 100 hours. Then maybe for testers or for developers, there'll be multiple people. So imagine if you have 4 developers and each work for 8 hours a day. So it is 36 hours for each sorry, 32 hours for each developer's work. Why am I telling you all this in detail? That when you work in that individual department, you will allot your working hours to that WBS code. Okay. So overall, how this helps when the project comes to an end and when we try to find the costing of the project. Okay. When we say, the project should be a loss, there should not be, what I say, it should not be more than the cost. The profit should not be, profit should be more than the cost. The cost should not be more than the profit. So that means whatever expenses you're occurring to complete this project, complete this work, that should not be more than the profits. It's as simple as that. Tomorrow, if you open a cafe and you are trying to sell maybe different types of coffees for that matter, okay, just a hypothetical example. So the cost of making that coffee should not be more than what you are charging. So if you are making a coffee for per se, for example, $2, okay, hypothetically, and if you're selling that in 1.5, you won't make profit, right? It's a stupid business. You're making losses. So same way, you have to ensure that whatever cost you're putting into your business, it should not be more and you should earn profit. So all this is very important from business point of view. And by the way, from here in, we will see which particular team has more focus. If you can see from site software development 4.0, there is one more down arrow and there are 4 additional segments. Yeah, can someone read out those 4 segments at once, please? Yeah, from 4.0 site software development, there is an additional array that goes down.
HTML design and creation, backend
Perfect.
software, graphics and interface, content creation.
Absolutely. So for a website software creation, all these things activities need to be done. Again, from backend software, there is additional, I would say arrow or additional subdivision is created. So what is that? You can continue with the 5 additional points, please.
Database implementation,
Yes.
user development, security, subsystems, catalog engine, transition, processing.
Perfect. So here you can see that site software development. That's simply for our understanding. Let us take software development has been categorized into 4 major part as HTML design and then backend software, and then graphics and I would say content creation. And from that, one particular department or one particular category as backend software that has been again categorized. So same way. So you know what, when tomorrow when this project will be finished or completed, you will know which category or which department contributed the most or which team took longer amount of time in short, and then we have to kind of justify if they were given 80 hours, like 10 days to work a single person, was it completed in 10 days? Was it completed within timelines and things like that? So it's a very important concept, to be very honest, from billing point of view, to understand the cost of the project point of view. And right now it might be new to you, but when you think from practical scenarios at your home, like how your work is bifurcated, and then you understand who is like, for example, I don't think so a mother's contribution at household work can be matched with anyone unless you have a really engaged father who also equally help your mother. But generally, in typical Indian households, it's always the female who will contribute in the household stuff much. Okay, it might be outside work, then definitely father might get an edge on that. Just telling you the percentage wise or contribution wise work. Okay, so tomorrow if your mother might be old, then maybe the older siblings will take over and they'll continue the activities. So this work breaks down structure in organization is quite essential, from billing, from contribution, from overall, to know the overall cost of the project point of view. Make sense? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any doubts in this, guys? We have given it enough time in detail.
No.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just got a response from one person, but I'm considering it for all. So anybody has any doubts, please ask. Yeah, Gaurav, we can go to next slide, please.
I think some question is there from Mahipal to you.
Okay, there is a chat. Is it? I can't see. Is there in the chat?
Two hands raised, so you can ask and
Okay.
address.
Yeah, guys, go ahead. Yeah. Ask the question, please. It's okay. You can directly also ask. Or it has been already like that.
Mahipal, do you have any question you want to ask?
Yeah. So my question is regarding this, workflow chart. Is this that from the BS point of view, what is the significance of this chart? Like, I just need to be aware about the chart, or like the way I see it is like from the company's point of view and the billing point of view, it is important. So as a
Yes.
BA, do I need to do
As
something?
a BA, you should know your WBS and you should put that while you log in your hours. That's it.
All right. Okay.
As a BA, as a developer, as a even project manager would have additional duty. So I remember when I was working closely in my earlier days with the project manager. So that time we had to check and for every WBS by every team, testing, development, designing, and assign that and kind of give a justification for entire sprints work. Okay. So as of now, for BAs or for even for other team members, it's only that you have to put in the right WBS for your work with the right amount of hours. Make sense?
Yes, all right. And Prenda, if you don't mind, I have another question, which is regarding the earlier slide, which Gaurav sir, shared, which is like a visual modeling. And where I just read that, business analyst is responsible for a low fidelity and medium fidelity, prototypes. So as a BA, let me understand what I, assume that if there is a new business and if I am talking to the client, then in that situation, I would be, drawing a button where, I need to either go with the low fidelity or medium fidelity, right? Or
See,
is it?
first of all, let me honestly give you a practical clarity. Not in every organization a BA is expected to have these drawings, first of all. Second, if you have to, there will be predefined tools in your organization. And low fidelity honestly means it will be more or less like a sketch, like that the way you set a button or a window or how a page would look like. And then if at all your organization is expecting BAs to work on medium fidelity, then you would also have the help of designing team. And there are tools. Now I am not able to get the tools name as of now, but there are even free or paid tools which you can use. So it's not that you have to set and create from scratch, or you will have to create in Word or Paint. No, these tools are very, very, yeah. Sorry, you were saying something? Hello?
No, sir. No, Prenaji. I was not saying anything. Maybe there is a disturbance.
So I can
Okay.
add something.
Yeah,
Prerna.
go ahead.
So in any document, what do you do first? First, you gather the requirement. The moment you gather the requirement, customer will continue say, hey, what we want here some this kind of UI elements, like we want in this software, a file menu would be there. Now what you see only, you are focusing on various UI element. File menu is there, home menu is there, insert, draw, like this. And in every menu, there are certain buttons. Can you all see that? Yeah, just a second. In
Yes.
home. So these buttons, when client is telling you, initially when you are gathering the data, what you will do? You will just sketch it with your pen and pencil. You will just have the rough design created while you are taking notes. Number one. Now, when you are developing a document, what you will be doing? You will be creating, okay, by asking, okay, you want text box. So you are present, you want mic button. Okay, you can create so that it will be consider it. Okay, you exactly don't have to design that. Who will design? Software engineers will design, developers will design those UI UX element, or UI UX designer will design. That's one way. Now, this is the two ways: low fidelity and medium fidelity. In certain cases, what happen? Customer want to transit from one operating system or one version to another version. Some existing software is there. Now he is willing to enhance that software and is telling that, okay, like we have existing software in the record button. We have the various UI elements for preview, cameo, and for slideshow, for screen recording and all. We want all this button into the new software. What you can do, if you want all these new button, you can snip it and mark it in document, hand over to the document readers or say developers, and say that it has to be designed like this. Now this is their responsibility, referring to your document. They will go ahead and design that. This will go under medium high fidelity. Now, as Prerna said, that you don't have to exactly design it. So in the software, you are not designing, you are just making it available into the software as into the document as a reference that designers can take a reference from. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it get more clearer?
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Yes.
Okay. Sonia, you had certain question. You had raised your hand too.
Yeah, I have a question, Gaurav. For this WBS chart, for logging the number of hours, so do we log in number of hours before the starting of project, like expected numbers of hours, or at the end of the project?
I'll let
Okay,
Prerna
yeah, let
take
me
this.
answer this. So, to be very honest, it depends organization to organization that you need to log in hours or not. In one of my organization, that time for projects, we were specifically putting in these hours or logging in the WBS as per project. But sometimes that is already predefined, so you don't have to separately do anything. But as a team, you would have your WBS, and it is okay if you know it. Sometimes it's also used when for you, when in case you want to, your team wants to buy a particular software, or you need to get some particular hardware for your work, so that time that can be used. So again, I'll highlight, it depends organization to organization, because it's mostly predefined, right? So in, like, say around 10 or 12 years or back, when I was working in organization, they have an explicit way of putting in a WBS and charging that to customer. But then in the recent organization, maybe the things have been refined. It is directly implied, and your WBS is only required to the cost center, they call it, when you want to buy something, like if your speakers have gone bad, or if you are getting a computer from your organization, that time your WBS is required. That is for your department.
Okay.
Make sense? Any doubts?
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you so much for asking questions. Yeah, Gaurav, let us go to the next chart, please. Okay. Now let us understand how many different documents, templates are there overall. And they might not be all necessary as well. They might be, but it's always good to know information for us to know them, that what kind of documents are there. So I'll just request different people to read out each individual points. Yeah, go ahead.
Product vision document, not necessary, but should be known. Reason, product owner may ask for help.
Requirement management plan. User stories.
Use cases.
Business requirement document. Requirement traceability matrix, RTM, not necessary, but you may need to review.
Functional requirement specification, FRS, functional specification document, FSD.
System requirement specification, system requirement document.
This case not necessary, but you may need to review.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, yeah, have you guys heard all these documents? So starting with first document, project vision document. Again, it's mentioned, it's not necessary, but should be known that why we are creating, why we are undertaking or implementing this project. So as the word says, project vision document means what is the vision on of future, or how the roadmap. Okay, someone had mentioned that word roadmap when I was explaining about WBS. So how the future of the project will look like. So for that we have this document. But to be very honest, in my experience, very few companies make this document. So it's like a kind of optional one, but again depends on your organization. Are they following the process of creating this one? Requirement management plan, definitely yes. That can be your BRD or FRD or FSD, that is business requirement document, functional requirement document, or functional specification document. Any plan that can be. In short, it says whatever requirements you are getting, how are you planning to manage that? Okay, that's one. Next is user stories and use cases. So user stories are basically your requirements, given in the form of small stories, or small descriptions that make sense, and by reading that, understanding that, you work on your requirements. Use cases again are diagram, medical, representation, to understand how the user stories, or how the actual requirements will work like, or how they will flow, what will be their direction, how the connection between multiple activities are there. So that way use cases help you. Business requirement document, again, it will be, it might be a bigger not might be, it will be a bigger document. So here they have, see, because we are trying to tell you all the documents, so we have mentioned both. So requirement management plan will be more towards how you would understand, or how you will complete the requirement gathering part, how long it will take, how the discussions, the preparing of the document. And BRD will be the actual document which will have all the requirements. By the way, I have never come across anybody preparing requirement management plan. I am not sure whether Gaurav has, but it's a given document, but hardly anybody prepares this. The major document amongst this, if that can be prepared, that is prepared, is along with user stories and use cases, is BRD. Because BRD is like what we call it as, it's like a Gita, Bible, Quran. It's the document that everyone follows, because whatever you want to work on, that has to be a part of the BRD. Okay, if there is any functionality that is not mentioned in BRD, that simply means that functionality is not present, it will not be worked upon. Okay, as simple as that. The next is requirement traceability matrix. Again, not necessary, but it kind of helps you to understand where we stand, what are the requirement structure. See, the word says requirement traceability document, right? So you're trying to actually traceability matrix. So basically, it's is a way that managers or seniors in your team try to analyze how we are going towards the completion, what is the project progress, okay, how you are what is the pace of the project, how well you are managing the development, is there any delay, are we on track? So these kind of things are basically understand when we study this document. Now next is functional specification document, FSD, or functional requirement document. See, to be very honest, it is most of the times only one document, but if any particular organization feels the need to have both, then what happens is the business logic. Like for example, I'll tell you how the difference would be. The BRD would look or sound more like, okay, a commercial website, should be able to sell variety of, I would say, artifacts or items, starting with clothing, toys, household materials, automobiles, and things like that. That would be your business requirement document. Your business understanding would be there, and the functional requirement document would be a user should be able to log in into the page. There should be validation. The user should get asked user ID and password, and that should be checked. And once they log in, then they should be able to see a website with all the available data. There can be different items, and then they should be able to select it, look at the picture, look at the description, and then they should, if they like it, they should be able to add to the cart. And there should be a payment method or payment gateway, or there should be multiple payments option, and they should be able to pay it. And so you saw the difference. The earlier business requirement document only had a business justification or business understanding, but when we come to functional one, we would have more in detail understanding of the working. Generally, in my opinion, in my experience, there's only one document, but just for the knowledge parting point of view, we are kind of making you understand both of them. Depends which is used, but generally it's only one document. And second one is system requirement specification would be again in detail technical point of view. Okay, so now when I said functional, it was more functionally point of view. When I say a system requirement, SRS document will be like, okay, so this software will be used, this tool will be used, the project will work on this framework. Is it on .NET? It is on Java. Is it on Sitefinity? Is it a website? It is a web application. So to be very honest, a lot of technical details with respect to system. Okay, what version of .NET are we using? Which framework are we using? Which database are we using? Is it SQL, MySQL, or MongoDB? Is it open source or whatnot? So, all the technical part of it, or the backend or software part of it, will be definitely mentioned. And last but not the least, test cases. Now, test cases basically how a testing team generally tests the functionality. So that would be mentioned. So it is not mandatory that every BA should know that, but sometimes BAs are also requested to test the application when it is done, test the functionality. So it is good to know. Very rare cases, or I have not come across any BAs preparing test cases. Generally, it is mostly testing team. But just for your understanding, so when you have to test your application, you might have to do that using test cases. Okay. So we have given you a holistic way or approach of all the possible documents. Okay. These are all the possible documents. I am pretty sure hardly 2 or 3, including BRD and, maybe use cases and user stories, they are oftenly used. Others are just good to know, depending on organization. Okay. I just saw the clock. We are overrun by 4 minutes. So if anybody has any doubts, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll hand it over to Gaurav. Yeah.
What is use cases?
I guess Gaurav explained today. Yeah, Gaurav, we had use cases in the diagrams.
Oh, yeah, not the explanation, but yeah, we have touched that topic. However, in the tomorrow, we will be covering all of these documents one by one. Okay, so we have dedicated slides about it. So we will be talking about it. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what will go
And for as
inside
of
these?
now, yeah, for as of now, for your understanding, it basically means that whatever website, web application, or any software that you're that you are gonna work on, that it's shown in a in detail format with the help of symbols. Okay. So it's like a small tiny man would be drawn. That's a user. And then I'm not sure in this session or not, we had taken an example of ATM activity flow, like how you can go to ATM, insert your card, and your card gets validated. So all these activities that happen, that will be shown in a diagrammatical format. It's just for your understanding. But as this Gaurav says, in tomorrow's session, we'll learn all this in detail. So I'll request you to, wait for that time. So it will give you better clarity right now instead of any confusion. Yeah, make sense? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
So
thank
stay
you so
tuned
much.
tomorrow. Yes, stay
Yeah.
tuned tomorrow, and you will have more detailed explanation even on use case. So with this note, it's time for the quick attendance. We need to go back to WhatsApp group description, WhatsApp group, and just drop one liner. What do you feel like saying? How did you feel about today's session? Were you able to connect, relate, and understand? Was it well went in your head or not? So would love to hear from you. That's one line, and we'll take your attendance one by one. Okay. And we'll review them. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow at the same time. Please join on time, guys. And we'll begin accordingly. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care and good night.
Thank you.
Good
Bye.
night, guys. Good
you.
night.
Good
Take care.
night.
Bye-bye.